This game is rated M for mature.
Hey everybody, this is, as you could probably tell, not a normal episode of Persona 4, but it's been a week since we recorded the last episode.
Yeah, it's been a week for us.
And so we've had some time to look around and think and contemplate about the character Naoto. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do a whole lot, but I know you did a lot of searching and seeing how other people feel about this.
I went down a Naoto rabbit hole after we finished recording last week. And also for the record, we're recording this before this last episode has been made public, so I still haven't seen your guys' response.
Yeah, so we still don't know what you guys have to say about this, but this is just our thoughts on it and stuff like that. And I'm mostly going to let you lead, and I'll go off of what you have to say. This is going to be fairly impromptu, but we wanted to do this as a kind of separate video so we can talk about it and then decide how we're going to go forward talking about Naoto in the rest of the Let's Play.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, we're going to spoil a couple of things that happen down the line because of what happens with Naoto. It's nothing plot related, just there's one or two
other scenes that happen
where it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So, after last week's episode, I was not okay. Basically. Basically the stuff with Naoto just really sucks. There's just no other way to put it.
This is a character that was written very poorly.
So, okay, to start off, in general, this is a very common trope of... It's playing off of the trope of the, woman lets her hair down because, she's been pretending to be a man in a man's workspace, but actually she's a badass bitch, this whole time.
And then everyone goes, whoa!
She was a girl this whole time, wow! And, that's already a very trans-coded narrative. This game took it 5 billion steps further in coding Naoto as trans. Literally every part of his experience is just that's what trans people do. That's a trans thing. This is a trans story. Naoto binds, Naoto deepens his voice. Naoto has changed his name. All in order to...
present masculine.
Yes. And so then for the game to just quote-unquote let Naoto's hair down and pretend that this is a cis narrative all along...
It's so
not only
disingenuine.
Really frustrating, but really upsetting, and personally gives me a lot of secondhand dysphoria just watching it. No matter what the game tries to say to me, there's no question in my mind that Naoto is trans. And, I went down a Naoto rabbit hole, so I was trying to see, what the consensus in, the fandom is, and, unsurprisingly, this whole topic is very polarizing. There are people who only see Naoto as cis, there are people who only see Naoto as trans, and then there are people who prefer to view Naoto as either gender fluid, gender non-conforming, or non-binary. And as comforting as the gender non-conforming or gender fluid or non-binary headcanons would be, I don't want to use them to excuse bad writing.
Mm-hmm. Because,
if that makes sense.
Because it is bad writing.
Yes.
If you want me to take over for a little bit.
Yeah.
If you really break down everything that Naoto has told us, and Naoto's shadow has told us, the reasoning behind him fronting as a man, like the ideas of, oh, well, it's a male-oriented workspace, and women can't be detectives and stuff. That doesn't work with the information he gives.
It contradicts things that are already in the story. Naoto talks about both of his parents being detectives.
That includes his mom.
Yeah, his mom was also a detective. And while Naoto might not have known his mom for a very long time, because they passed away, like, Naoto still knew his mom was a detective.
Yeah.
And if they really wanted to make this about sexism,
they could have shown examples.
Yeah, then we needed to see sexism in the police department. But we don't. Naoto is being treated this way because Naoto is a child. Mm-hmm. Not because of his gender.
Yes.
And yes, his gender might have made things harder for him. But
it's already
the gender
hard enough.
the gender thing was just kind of like thrown in as an excuse to, again, like, let Naoto's hair down and out him to the crew. So, like I was saying earlier, I wish, like, at first when I heard the headcanons for Naoto being non-binary or gender fluid, I was like, okay, that's a good way we could go about this and have it not feel awful all the time. But again, I don't want to use those identities to just excuse the writing.
Yeah, that feels wrong.
Right.
Now...
Because... like I said earlier, everything about how Naoto's story is portrayed here it's a trans story. Mm-hmm. So, everything, for me, personally, I am going to continue referring to Naoto as he, him, they, them. When the game uses she, her pronouns, I will read it that way, but when I am talking about Naoto, I am going to use he, him.
Really? Because I was going to do my best to make sure to use he, him, and replace...
All the time?
All the time.
I mean, I might do that too.
That makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
So that if people are just listening in, at least 50% of the time he's being referred to as the correct gender.
Yeah.
His social link delves into this more, and that's going to get real
so
rough.
Awful. It's so awful. Going down the Naoto rabbit hole let me know, like, luckily it warned me about what else is going to be going on here, but yeah, there's just, everybody's gonna be treating Naoto terribly. Even Kanji is. Mm-hmm. And, like, it sucks. I hate this so much. But, yeah, like, if Naoto was a real living person and, you know, went through this experience or whatever and told me they wanted me to use she, her pronouns for them, obviously I would use them. But because Naoto is a fictional character and this is a trans narrative, I feel uncomfortable using anything other than he, him, or they, them.
Yes. I want to go ahead and flag a couple of big examples of things that are going to happen later on that really suck.
Just to prepare everybody.
Prepare everyone, and, like, it's going to suck all the way through. I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. But important points to point out. they're going to go to a hot tub, or like they're going to do the bath scene.
Yeah. There's going to be a sauna, the bathhouse.
The onsen sauna episode, and Naoto will be bathing with all of the girls, and they're all going to comment on how large his boobs are. Mm-hmm. And that really sucks. Mm-hmm. I genuinely can't remember if this is in the base game or if this is a golden only thing.
Uh-huh.
But there is an event at school where there's cross-dressing, where a lot of the boys wear feminine clothes, and I'm pretty sure Naoto gets pulled into this somehow, and I don't remember how it works. Also important to note, in all of these situations where Naoto is being treated to do feminine things, he is very uncomfortable.
He's very uncomfortable, and even though he's been outed at this point, he is still going to present male.
He still presents male to the world. It's only the team that knows that Naoto had a different gender when he was born, and just like, they are the ones that are going to treat him badly. Mm-hmm. And it sucks.
Yeah, like, I've been trying to, like, find a way to come to peace with this as we continue forward. And, like, honestly, my headcanon, my understanding of Naoto is going to be Naoto lives in 2008 society and doesn't have the vocabulary to know exactly what to do and to, like, stand up for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And tell the rest of the team to fuck off.
Yeah, because like he can't. Because the frustrating thing is if he were trying to push it still,
the writing would reprimand him for it.
Yeah, the writing would reprimand him and say, "No, you are our girl, and that's wrong."
Yeah. Same thing with kanji. Like, they're gonna write it off as...
No, this is a straight pairing now. It's okay.
Yeah.
And that's also wrong. I will also say that technically you can date Naoto, but...
In order to date Naoto, you have to
force him to be feminine.
Yeah,
and that's awful.
You just... Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of forcing more femininity onto Naoto, and like literally in order to start dating Naoto, you have to tell him like, I like that you're a girl or something like that. And then no. I want to talk about this because it's been weighing heavily on my mind for the last week. And yeah. I do want to say there's a mod. There is a mod.
For the golden version of the game on PC, you can get a mod that replaces all reference to Naoto being, like, Naoto using feminine pronouns is deleted and
it's
changed.
A trans Naoto mod. And
they also literally get rid of the bath scene.
Yeah.
Thank God. I know we're not done with the game. And I just want to talk about this very briefly because we're like 3/4 of the way through the game.
We're a good chunk of the way through.
2/3, something like that. People love this game back and forth. They think it's the best Persona game to ever exist. And I don't agree. Because of the handling of characters that are very personally close.
Like Kanji and Naoto.
The rest of the story is great. I would agree. But it's just so hard for me to get behind the game as a whole when characters are being treated like shit by the other main characters.
Well, and it's such a targeted case of both homophobia and transphobia because it's not just that like Kanji and Naoto are lightly coded gay and trans, they're heavily, basically fully out gay and trans characters. And then the game says that, oh no, this is a weakness of theirs. they're not actually these things. They are straight and cis.
Because again, if we look at what their shadows represent, it's the evil bad part of themselves that they need to come to terms with. Kanji is gay. That is his badness. Naoto is trans. That is his badness.
Right. And that sucks.
Well, if being trans is bad, I guess I'm bad to the bone, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is what I want to say, but the game doesn't allow us to. I mean, we've already seen many examples of our character just being kind of a shithead.
Yeah.
Constantly. And like, there's some level of like, fine, it's a character, but I am being forced to play this character where I supposedly have some control of them.
Well, I mean, the character is supposed to be a self-insert, so the reactions that the character gives are supposed to be a reflection of what a general audience would say or think. You know, if you write a main character like this that says and does nothing that that like your player would personally agree with,
it really pulls you out of the game.
It feels very off, and you're like, well, I don't want to do this. Like, why do you even give me the option of, like, choice if my only choice is terrible options?
Yeah. It's one thing, like in Persona 3, when you hang out with a cult leader, because that's just kind of like a stupid, silly thing. But when your character is actively being transphobic, that sucks. That hurts.
Yeah. Man, and I also want to say...
On a related note, there's actually a different mod out there for Persona 4 Golden that re-adds in the ability to date Yosuke.
Yeah.
Because there was like one deleted bit of dialogue that showed that he was also dealing with comp het, and that's why he's such a little shit.
That's why he's so bigoted, is because he's just dealing with his own, like...
He's
internalized homophobia.
But, like, you could technically date him with that mod. Like, it allows that to be an option.
All that being said, I wish we were playing with those mods.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're playing the base game on a PlayStation 3, and I don't know the fucking first thing to start modding that.
Modding that, yeah.
So, we're stuck with the base game. Just note that any episodes going forward that will have...
And
that
also...
will be... have Naoto in it where they are just referencing them poorly, especially the very severe ones, will be highlighted. Like, in that opening, this is rated M for mature. Like, there will be transphobia warning.
Yeah.
Type of thing, or something to that extent.
Yeah,
so
we'll always be sure to give you guys fair warning.
Ample preparation, because we don't necessarily have that preparation. We're just kind of thrown into it blind. But we want to make sure that you guys don't have to be.
Yeah. Also, I want to be clear. If you do headcanon Naoto is cis, or non-binary, or gender fluid, or whatever, like, more power to you. Just personally, I cannot headcanon anything. Naoto is anything but trans. Like, everybody's, you know, free to have their own headcanon, but this will be my reading of this game, and you'd be hard-pressed to change my mind on that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Alright, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up this extra episode thing. So,
please feel free to talk about this in the comments below, or over in the Discord server.
I'm sure this will get unmonetized because we said the word trans and transphobic and transphobia and stuff like that about 20 times or more. That doesn't matter. YouTube makes us $0 anyways. But please, please talk about it.
Yeah.
That being said, if you are transphobic, you'll be hidden from the channel forever.
Yeah, go ahead and try and talk. You'll be banned like that. No, anyway.
This channel has and will always be a safe space for all of the queer community, no matter what denomination underneath that you want to take.
Right. Anyway, take care of yourselves, everyone. We will be back with more normal episodes of Persona. And, yeah, just take care.
Yeah. We love you.
Yeah.